So in that sense, I think, which has been, I guess, an artwork that you, or installation that you've been involved with that was very impactful for you to make or for your audience to watch, which may or may not be the same.
Look, I think that I've been doing a few different installations, but one in particular was probably my final master's work, which was a massive it was a massive installation. So it came in 3 parts. And for my master's, I was looking at the Galapagos Islands and Lord Howe Island, and I went to both places. And those 2 places connect by currents, by ocean currents. So the Galapagos is on the equator, and from there it has the Humboldt Current that comes up from Antarctica, hits the Galapagos, that goes across the equator on the equatorial current, down the East Australian Current to Lord Howe Island, which is 600 nautical miles off New South Wales, off the state that I'm in. So, and its irony is that it's almost the same distance from our mainland as what Galapagos is from South America. So there's these 2 really interesting aspects to these 2 island spaces. Galapagos has more islands involved in it, but it was really interesting to look at these things. And during the creation of that, I was making ceramic works, and I had a large Petri dish, which is, 1.2 meters across, really significant size. And inside that is all these ceramics. I was doing ocean beach collecting in Lord Howe. So I created a stenciled builder's plastic with the litany of everything that I collected. And I only did 3 walks. So one walk on each of the 3 main beaches on Lord Howe. And this plastic that I stenciled is 5 meters by 3.6 meters. So it's got this, dialogue about how plastics are in the ocean. And this all connects up with a fish tank, which is full of the plastics that I collected. And there's water traveling between the 2. And there's the big plastic sheet behind. And then behind that, so if you're walking in, you've got all of this, there's a video going with water bubbles coming up, there's the movement of water, there's heat because there's a T-urn that's a part of the transfer of the heat and the water that's going on in this front section of this Petri dish and ceramics and plastic. And then you've got like this curtain of text that's between you and the other side. And on the other side is a work based on a section of text from Gaia, the Plastic Ocean by Carl Safina. And it talks about a bird that's trying to feed its chick. And the work is called Gagged. So when you read the text, it was so moving to read it. And he's given me permission to actually use that when I display this work. And it talks about how she's fed the chick, and then the chick's going, no, Ma, give us more, and how they tap them and say, I want more, I want more. And she starts to gag and retch and retch. And what she brings up is a toothbrush. But she can't get the toothbrush out because the toothbrush doesn't bend, and she has to arch her neck in order to regurgitate food. So here you've got this situation where the chick wants more. The chick's underfed. The mother would love to give it more, but can't because of something that we stick in our mouth every day, a toothbrush, something we never think about. And so in creating Gagged, I was really concerned that humans have a 2-second attention span. We really do. We're looking at something, we're looking at these wildlife shows, and we see these animals in distress, and we're going, oh, that's so heart-wrenching. That's so, oh, bright, shiny. Oh. And we're so distracted, like bit of tinsel, oh, we'll go running off. So I didn't want that to happen. And so I worked with a girl called Molly Morfu, and we worked on this piece. And so she is there gagging um, in the work. Now, when I was making that and I was trying to figure out how I was going to display it, one of the lecturers walked into the room, and she said to me, "What is this?" Because it's really moving. The sound is really moving. And I told her what it was about. And so she came back to me the next day and she said, my son came home from school and he walked in and he threw his leftover lunch in the bin in a plastic bag. And she said, "You can't do that." She said, seeing my work, hearing this, what was going on, made her stop and say to her son, "We can't do this anymore. You can't just throw out a plastic bag that we've only ever used once into the garbage. We have to be more aware. We have to be more careful." And that really moved me that she had that response. And so when I do display this work gagged, or actually most of my work, I tend to try and spend some time in the exhibition with the work to talk about the ramifications of what's going on, or to speak about these kinds of things. So that's, it's not a cheery work by any means,
but it's an important work, I think.
Yeah, look, it's an important work. And I was really lucky that a friend of mine who's associate professor, Monica Gagliano, she used this work to open the Jane Goodall Symposium in 2016 in Brussels. And everybody there was just struck silent by this work. So it had a really profound impact on a number of people.
It definitely sounds, I mean, just trying to imagine, and I'm pretty sure there might be images on your site about the work, right? But just even like having to think about that, it's very impactful and uncomfortable, but I think that's sometimes what the work needs to be in order for people to sometimes care more than 5 seconds.
Well, that's exactly right. And listening to it and having that sound of somebody going, "Oh," trying to get whatever it is caught in its throat. And other people have come along and have seen the work and have said, it actually makes me think about somebody gasping for air as well, which is also part of this whole thing, that you bring to the work your own experience. So I want to just give you a platform where you can explore your own experience. And to say that it makes me feel like I can't breathe, then that also speaks about what's going on in our environment, how, pollution isn't just big pieces that you can see, they're microscopic pieces that we breathe and we ingest.